Pandora's box, Pandora's box. There's a sex joke in here somewhere, but I'm not about to tell it. So there. Hello there, CriterioNate here. 358, G.W. Pabst's Pandora's box, or what's the German title? What's the German title? I'm gonna have to look on here because this is what they decided to send me, and it's not the full case. Die Buch der Pandora. Yeah, directed by Georg Wilhelm Pabst. I wonder if he's the same Pabst who did Pabst Blue Ribbon. Probably not. 1929, 120 something minutes, 131 minutes, 133 minutes or something. Black and white and all German, silent too. Don't forget, it is a silent film, but it's in German, so yeah, silent German, blah blah blah. Oh man. Again, so I don't know how to feel. Well, first of all, I didn't watch this with any soundtrack. I never watched silent films with soundtracks. They presented this movie with 4 separate soundtracks. One of them was there was an orchestral version, there was a piano improvisation version, there was a cabaret version, and then there was another one that I can't remember. It all sounded like really cheap MIDI to me. So yeah, and again, when I did Nanook of the North, I didn't watch it with the soundtrack. And as I filmed this, it's December 21st, and it's Frank Zappa's birthday. So I decided to play Zappa all through Pandora's box. So that might have skewed my interpretation of it. But anyway, either way, I watched it. I'm not crazy about this movie. I think it does go on a bit long. But you know, I mean, I guess maybe there's some more Pabst. I'm curious if there's any more of his stuff in the Criterion collection. Probably not. But anyway, so it's about this woman named Lulu, played by the apparently beautiful Louise Brooks. And I say apparently, that's a huge apparently. It plays this woman named Lulu who basically uses her sex to get what she wants. You know this story. Apparently she was like an actress or like a singer or dancer or something, and she's the mistress to this guy, Schoen. What is his name? Maybe it says in here. This is the book, which I actually haven't cracked open here. Dr. Schoen. I wonder if he's Dr. Schoen foot sandals. No, not really. Now I'm stretching. Anyway, Lulu and Schoen are boinking or whatever. But Schoen says, "Oh, I'm gonna get married to this woman named Charlotte," and she ends up getting with him. Lulu gets with Schoen in a closet or something, and Charlotte sees and breaks up with him, and so he reluctantly marries Lulu. But she's still flirting around with her old business partner, some guy named some old weird homeless guy named Shigolch, and you can't blame me for not knowing what they sound like, because they never really presented themselves with, because it's silent, all I have to do is read, I mean, I guess I could go to Forvo. I could pull up Forvo here. But anyway, so, which we meet him early in the movie, and he says, "Oh, Lulu, there's a guy that you got to meet. This guy Rodrigo Quast, who's like this like talent scout, even though I guess he's like he's just as lecherous as the rest of them." Glolich. There's probably no. Oh, it'd help if I didn't spell it with an I. Let's see. Maybe there's. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Shigol. Yeah. Okay. I'll just hit play when I need to refer to him. So anyway. So yeah, and so Schoen, Dr. Schoen finds and Quast in their bedroom messing around, and Schoen threatens to murder them, but they get away, and he commands Lulu to kill herself, and they struggle with the gun, and Lulu ends up shooting Sean dead, and so she's arrested and tried for 5 years of manslaughter. However, and Quast end up like pulling the fire alarm and letting her free, and then they run away, and I guess Sean's son Alwa catches up with her and falls for her, and they start up a illegal gambling ring, and he gets caught cheating cards, and yeah, it got really confusing toward the end. I lost track of it. It didn't help. It's really long, and the silent film, And again, I'm trying to be good at watching this, but silent films are tricky for me. It's hard to keep my mind on it. If I'm not hearing something. And I was listening to Zappa too, so that might have been distracting. But anyway, it beats. I think it's a much. I say I'm gonna make my own. See, it's like the thing about silent films is that like with Chaplin's The Gold Rush, at least the later version, or like something like Modern Times, they were silent films, but they had like a synchronized like sound effects and music. And I think synchronized music isn't good enough for me personally. If it has synchronized sound effects, I think that's even works better. I tried listening to a little bit of each soundtrack, and I wasn't impressed. I thought they just weren't that interesting. So there. Yeah. So anyway, Lulu at the end of the movie, Lulu and I forget if she's with I can't remember if she's actually with or not. I think she's with Alwa. Yeah, I think the three of them are together, and Lulu has basically become a prostitute by this time. And one night she invites the guy up to sleep with her, and even though he has no money, little does she know that this guy is Jack the Ripper. And at first, he can control his urges, but eventually he can't, and he ends up killing Lulu. And Alwa goes off on a parade, and that's the movie. Yeah, so I love describing these movies for you, when I understand only half of them. And I understand that I'll probably get all the hate comments, down there somewhere. So be it, I have no qualms about Paths. I think that, let me see. Do we have any more of his movies? Is this the only one? Oh, no, we have another. Let's see. The Three Penny Opera. Okay, that's going to be early next season, yeah. So we'll get to some more Paths, and then, yeah, so that's the only other one. Okay, so it's Pandora's Box, which this one is out of print. I don't know why. Studio Canal doesn't own it, So it's probably just the German. In fact, funny enough, as I was watching this is obviously a library copy. It's not in the best quality. Halfway through, the disc stopped playing. After I got through, I think Act 5 or Act 6 or so. So I ended up finding it on. Thankfully, I found it on YouTube with Spanish subtitles translating the English. And so yeah, so I had to watch it halfway through. So if there was something different and I think it was a different translation, so I might have lost something with their translation versus the English translation that I found on YouTube. But I still needed to see the movie, and I couldn't get it to start. So if there is something special I'm losing from the second half of Pandora's Box, please let me know, and I apologize. But I want to finish the movie. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, Paps. I'm interested in seeing more Paps. Can't. It's based on a play that is an interesting story. I've never been too much of a fan of the sexy woman, sexy femme fatale, even though she isn't really a femme fatale, she just kind of, she just basically just uses her sex, And on that note, again, I mentioned before, Louise Brooks I don't see what people saw in her. I mean, back then, of course, you got what you got, So I guess back then, hey, and I think at one point in an interview with her, she mentions Marlene Dietrich, and Marlene Dietrich, I can see why people would think her, as really attractive. But for me, I think it's just the hair, the eyebrows, the makeup, that kind of look, and the dark black lipstick, that kind of look just didn't, it's very gothic, and on someone who identifies as gothic, it works. But back in the 20s, 30s, it just was weird looking, So there. So yeah, that's all I can really say. Again, I wasn't crazy about this movie, but it wasn't horrible. I think it was intriguing that Lulu got killed at the end. Usually, other movies I've seen, it's like she either, the lead actress ends up getting away with, murder and sex and all that, and living to tell another day, or she becomes reformed. But no, she ends up dying at the hands of Jack the Ripper. Of all people, Jack the Ripper, not just some jealous lover or anything. No, she runs into the one guy who will kill her. So anyway, yes, Pandora's Box. B minus. Yeah, I'm sorry, but B minus. I'm not crazy about this one. Again, Louise Brooks just isn't interesting to look at. But again, it's an interesting story. It still is a very interesting story, and I liked, the acts. Again, it was based on a play, and so it's only right to split the movie into acts. I think it's really cool, because usually you don't see that very often in movies, at least in later movies that are based on plays or adaptations of plays. You don't see Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Usually it's just a seamless transitional thing and all that. So anyway, but still, B minus, not the best movie ever, but not the worst. There you go. Supplements, they're all on the second disc. Let's see. And I don't have a description or a read, so I'm trying to remember. There's an hour-long episode of some hour-long movie documentary called Louise Brooks Looking for Lulu, which highlights Louise Brooks' life. There's a 48-minute interview with Louise Brooks done in 1971, I think, and she just basically talks about her life and how Pandora's Box was the big thing for her. And there's also an interview with, oh God, what is his name? Let me look his name up. Interview with Lee. There's an interview with Michael Patz, who played the director's son, who was Pap's son, Michael Pap's. Yeah, he talks about he just talks about his father, his home life, and obviously they're interviewing him. Of course, they interview him about the movie, so he talks a lot about the movie. But he also talks about, I guess he did an adaptation of Don Quixote, and that I'm really interested in seeing. I'm actually interested in seeing the adaptation, so I hope Criterion gets along to getting that, because I'm kind of familiar with the story of Don Quixote, so I didn't know he directed a version adaptation of it, so I'd love to see that sometime soon. Anyway, and that's all I got. Trailer. Was there a trailer? There wasn't a trailer. I don't think there was. No, it was just some stills too, and yeah, that's basically it. So, Pandora's Box B minus blah. So anyway, that's it for this week, and this is our last review until Christmas. So until the 26th, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever, And if I had been thinking, I'd brought out my Santa hat and worn it for the review. Because, when you think Christmas, you think Pandora's Box, So anyway, obviously I will, again, so our next review will more than likely be on the 26th. There's a very slight chance I might do a review on the 24th, on Christmas Eve, although that is extremely slight. And if it is, it'll be The Double Life of Veronique, which is in. I checked my library account, and it's in. Also, Symbiocytotaxiplasm is in. I'm actually really excited to see that one. I was looking up, I was like, that title, and I looked up what it was, and I'm like, oh my god, how is this going to work, you know? This looks like a movie I'm going to have to own, you know? And William Graves is African-American. I didn't know that, you know? That is really, really interesting, you know? So, that I'm looking forward to that, I'm just saying. Yeah, so anyway, but right now, let's assume Monday's our next day. So Monday, the 26th will be Double Life of Veronique. Tuesday will be Symbio-Psychotaxiplasm. Wednesday will be Fields of Grey Garden. Check out right here. There's Fields of Grey Garden. Thursday will be Mouchette. No, Thursday will be Border Radio. And then Sunday, the first day of the new year, will be Mouchette. There's Mouchette. And then I'll mention it again here. I'll mention it probably next week. Starting the new year, there'll be a schedule change. I won't be doing reviews on Mondays anymore. Instead, I'll be doing reviews on Fridays. So my review schedule will look Sundays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And yeah, so that'll be the plan. The first week of the new year, we'll do. It'll be Monday. Sunday will be Mouchette. Then Tuesday will be. We'll start the Monsters and Mad Men set. I was able to get the discs to First Man into Space and the Atomic Submarine. Haunted Strangler and Corridors of Blood, which both have supplements, will have to do without supplements. Thankfully, they're on Filmstruck, so I'll be using those for Filmstruck soon. So we'll have First Man into Space on Tuesday, the 3rd. Wednesday, the 4th, will be the Atomic Submarine. And then Thursday will be Haunted Strangler. Friday will be Corridors of Blood. And then the week after that will be the Paul Robeson set, along with we'll probably end up doing a re-review too. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I think I'm actually going to order the Scarlet Empress, because that's one that we were talking about, Marlene Dietrich. That is one that I didn't like the first time. I want to rewatch that one again and try to give it a better review, because that's one that I've had on my list for a while. So so let me see if I can find that here. Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, all of our libraries do. Although I think that one's out of print too. If I am, oh no, it isn't out of print. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't think. What's the next one that's out of print for us? I'm just curious. Monsters. I thought the Paul Robeson set. I thought the Paul Robeson set was out of print, but I think it actually is back in print. Let me see here. I got Criterion's website open too. Yeah, they got it back in print, which is really cool. So, because I've been looking forward to the Paul Robeson set too. So the next one we have out of print is John Pierre Melville's Army of Shadows, which is 385. So we got a ways to go. So anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Don't use sex as a way to get out of things. Don't kill your fiance, even if it's an accident. Don't seduce somebody else's fiance. And don't mess with Jack the fucking Ripper. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you after the holidays, or technically on the 26th, because the holiday season, I guess, technically, keeps on. So anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you on the 26th, if not before, because you never know. If Santa's kind to me, as far as Criterion is concerned, I might show up on the 25th and do a short little review as to what I got, but I'll probably save it for the 26th. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on Monday the 26th for the Double Life of Veronique. And until then, goodbye.